Hello, welcome to Health and Happiness. I'm Francine of Rose Cottage, and today I'd like to talk to you about herbs. And the basic first step of using herbs is to clean them. And I feel like there's not enough discussion, especially for new people that are getting into herbs and plants. I think we just need to just talk about the basics. I got geranium and rosemary and holy basil today. A lot of the dirt and sand will come from the rain, just kind of like bouncing off the soil. And most of the leaves that are closer to the ground will get this on there. But like this geranium, it's very hairy on the stems and the back of the leaves. And most of us will look at the top of the leaves and look for bugs and dirt on that side, but which is important. But we also need to look at the back side, because that is where the eggs and the bugs mainly stay. So yesterday I was gathering some, I don't remember what I was gathering, but there was along the stems, there was these tiny little dots. Sometimes they're white, sometimes they're black. Just look at them, and then I was seeing ants around there too. So just inspect your leaves carefully. And I kind of like shook them off, got the bugs off of them in the garden, and then clipped them, brought them in, and then over my sink I was just cleaning them with my fingertips, because your fingers are abrasive and very gentle, and won't hurt your herbs or anything. But you just you don't want to get them wet. I don't want to get them wet because I'm gonna use them in a tincture. So I just kind of like use the fingertips, my fingerprints, and just kind of like go over them, both sides, and don't forget the stems, and just kind of like rub them off. And even the rosemary, even though has thin little leaves, it still has the bugs on them. Not too much, but and just don't want that in your food or in your oils or tinctures. And holy basil. So I just want to talk to you about holy basil. This is kind of a great plant. I made tea last night for my boys, my husband and my youngest son, and I decided to have holy basil, lemon balm, and the geranium. And I made just put them in a little pot. I have a glass pot with a built-in strainer, and I boiled up some water, poured that in there, and just steeped it, put some honey in there, and they were asking for more. It was so good, and it was so calming too. But I just want to talk to you about holy basil. Some benefits are antimicrobial, antibacterial, and antioxidant. And then one thing that I learned today from the Medical News Today article from January 10th, 2022. They said it was anti-diabetic. So that's amazing. This is a super herb. So that's why I made it in my tea. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give my family some good nutrition and health benefits just by making some comforting tea. Let's see. So some of the uses, you could use them in, like I said, it was tea. You can put them in your cooking. You can make tinctures. Tinctures is what I was doing yesterday. Actually, I made holy basil, and I used 80 proof vodka. I just use cheap vodka. You don't have to use anything expensive. You just want to get 80 proof or higher, just so that way you can get a good extract of the oils and natural ingredients from your herbs, and also it will kill the bacteria and any microscopic critters that are on your plants that maybe you don't get to see. So the old holy basil, I just put it in, like I said, 80 proof vodka. And what you do is you I was just ripping my herb, ripping leaves in half from the stems into just like 2-inch pieces. And I just stuffed it in there and just kept stuffing in there. And actually, let me back up. So you need to make sure that your jar is clean and dry before you start out. You don't want it wet. And then after that, what I did was I put a little bit of the vodka in the jar, put the lid on, and just coated the jar, because sometimes the herb will stick to the jar because it's wet, or because it's dry, and you may not get the vodka everywhere. So anyway, so I did that first. Then I put the herbs in there, and then I filled it up, and make sure that you push the herbs down. Make sure there's no twigs or anything sticking up. If it happens, it happens. But fill it up. Make sure they cover most of it, and then give it a good shake. Put this in a place where it's dark, out of direct sunlight. Using these bottles that are amber colored are best, but as long as you keep it out of direct sunlight. So I made some other tinctures, and I kept forgetting to shake them, and they didn't look very well, and I didn't want to put my family's health in jeopardy, so I just dumped it out. And I started again, and I put myself a little stick-it note right over my kitchen sink, so that way I could see it. And I told myself to shake the tincture now. And then I put it on my counter, and I took a dark towel, and I just covered the jar, put it in the corner so it's out of the way. And that's how I'm reminding myself to do that. Other ways to store or use your herbs and to keep your herbs is to dry them. I do not have a freeze dryer. I know people that have them, and they are great, but they can be expensive. And if you're just starting out, you don't need to have that. But you can dry them in a dehumidifier. You can take them in a bunch and just tie a string, yarn, whatever, and then just hang them in a room that is out of direct sunlight and is not humid. So not in your bathroom, maybe in a closet or in a corner. That would be good. You can, and then after that, what I did was do that, and then I took my herbs and then just put them in a clean, dry jar with the lid on it, and I put it in there, and then that way I can cook with it. I can make other tinctures and extracts out of them, or in different creams, whatever I'm just using. Let's see, what else can we do? Got everything on there, but I want to make sure that that you know that you want to do your research before you get into herbs and before you start using them medicinally, because you want to get a good feel of what you can use them for. And also, in case someone misses some important information on a herb, you don't want to get sick or injure yourself or your family or other people. So make sure you do your due diligence, get multiple sources. I have a collection of books that I have started to collect back in the 90s, and I collected books that were from the 70s, just so that way I can get more adequate information. I take everything with a grain of salt, but I try to get reliable information before I really use them for medicinal purposes. But the best way to live a healthy lifestyle and to use your herbs is really to use them every day. dry them. That's probably the best way, and just to keep them in a jar out of direct sunlight, as I said, and use them in your cooking. You know, make butter, you know, rosemary butter. You know, take your dry herbs and chop them up, put them in some butter, warm it up in the microwave or in a pan. Don't scorch the butter, and then just put it in your refrigerator and use it for a couple weeks. And you're getting a benefit without even realizing, and it's making your food taste better, and you're getting those great health benefits. And honestly, I feel like that's why we don't have a good immune system these days as a society, and as in our culture, when we are just, you know, fast-paced, running the kids here and there, running to work, and then just coming home and eating on the way home. And I can't say that I haven't done that many times. But it's about choices. It's about being cognizant of everything that you eat. Now, I'm not saying to be perfect every single meal. I'm just saying make it a majority of your time that you're eating, and choosing what you're eating. The best way to do that is to plan ahead. And I know as a mom, I had 5 kids. Now I have young grandchildren, and I see my children in the same daily grind that I was in when they were their children's age. So I get it. But it's about effort, and just setting an example. You know, my youngest son, he wanted the tea because he remembered me making teas when he was a young boy, and he loved it. We made candies together. We made lavender candy, and he still remembers that. I think we only did it a couple times, but he remembered that, and he also remembered us making borage punch. That's another way to use your herbs fresh out of the garden. Punches, teas, it's immediate, it's right then and there. It's so easy. All you do is just heat up some water and add some honey and just strain it, and it's great. And it's just my kitchen is just, I walked in after gathering the herbs, and wow, it smells better than any candle that you could buy off the shelf. To be honest, it really is. You can put them in, you know, a flower arrangement to help give more scent in your room. You can put them in a little pretty little dish, you know, and on your counter, next to your bed, in your bathroom, to help give good fragrance in your home. And it's all natural. That's another thing. That's probably another video. But our environment is so full of chemicals. We are inundated almost with every breath and every touch. Between our clothing that we wash with soaps and detergents and fabric softeners, to you know, the plastic that we store our food in, and our foods. It's just we you know, and then garbage bags. You know, garbage bags are scented now. I seen a few years ago where you can buy a little jar of an additive for your paint. So if you're painting your room, you want it to smell nice, you add these chemicals in there. I couldn't believe that when I saw that. So just try to be cognizant of your health and to your purchases. Make sure you vote with your money. Buy natural things. Buy and I know that especially today's day and age, everything is so expensive. So it's more important than ever before to make sure that what you are buying is exactly what your family needs and is for what's the best for you and your family. So, like I said, it's not about being perfect all the time. It's just about, okay, well, you know what? I ate out twice this week. I'm going to make a pot of something from my garden or something from the grocery store that out of the produce aisle. And that's what I'm going to make. And I'm going to eat it for dinner, and I'm going to eat it for lunch for the next 2 days. It's healthy. It's much cheaper. And when I know people have told me it's too expensive to eat, fresh produce, fresh foods, and that it's cheaper to go through the drive-through, 99 cents, heart attack, as that one song said. But it's truly not, because in the long run, it's not. You can buy a bag of apples and dehydrate them, make applesauce. I can go on and on and on. A bag of potatoes can go make so many different meals. They're a great filler to a soup or a dish, to your plate. And you can serve them in so many different ways. And so, a $2 to $5 bag of potatoes can go, all week for you. So you can take, I know, things are getting more expensive, and things, a $2 bag is probably $7 bags now, but it still will be cheaper than it is next week or next month. So my point is, make from scratch the best you can. Throw it in the crock pot before you go to work. I advocate for that to everybody that tells me that they struggle eating well or just struggle getting to eat. Throw it in the pot. Add some pepper, some salt, some garlic, onions, and that's my base for everything that I make in my dishes, is those ingredients. Garlic and onions have a lot of great antioxidant properties that even if you cook them under heat, they do not lose their benefits, their efficacy. So that's just amazing just to know, because so many foods will lose their benefits and ingredients, nutrients during the cooking process, especially in frying and high heat. But anyways, so just make a concerted effort, in your meal planning, and enjoy it. Like I said, these smell great. They give lots of immune boosting, mood boosting benefits, and you just feel so satisfied to know that you just grew something. And a lot of times you can propagate them for free. You can do a little swap in your neighborhood or with your friends and family. Just collect the seeds, start a new plant from seeds or cutting, and then swap with something that you don't have. I did that when I was in Herb Guild in the Thumb of Michigan some years ago, and I learned so much. So anyways, I hope that this video gives you lots of information and inspiration to just incorporate a healthy attitude, and not to beat yourself up, because none of us are perfect. Please just know that. It doesn't matter what your state of health is right now, because you have tomorrow and the next year and the next decade to focus on your health. I don't know how old you are. I don't know your economic status or anything. Just know that just take a simpler approach to life and your food, and it will make you happier. You'll shed a lot of those chemicals that are in your body. Drink more clean water, and drink your teas, and that will help to clean your body, and your mood and your thinking, your cognition will improve as well. So just be strong, be encouraged, and know that you're worth it. And I hope that this informs you and encourages you. Alrighty, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.